on video 5 of 5 in the series on happiness. What is happiness? And this one is all about feelings, titled Feelings Are Guesses. Okay? So they can be thought of like signals on a car dashboard. You know, we've got the check engine light or the, low battery or oil temperature. It's a it's a way basically your elephant communicates to you, the rider, quickly and effectively. No words are necessary. These feelings just shoot from one system to the other, from the fast system to the slow system, and they're guesses. They're based on, they have to be made in the, faster than the blink of an eye, and they are made up on this meaning catalog. And just like the check engine light on your car dashboard, car dash, it's vague, and you should look into it, right? Some signals are more important than others, and sometimes you want to pull over right away, like a low tire pressure or something. But they're guesses. They should be investigated. They are not intended to be definitive or absolute. So we should work on them. And but they're there to pull us and push us and get us around, like the elephant. They're moving us around, and the feelings are, as we saw in the last one, pulling us to things that could be good, promises of reward, and away from things that wouldn't be good, right? And strong feelings, just as a general rule of thumb, the stronger the feeling, the more intense, the more important it is, something that thing is that's drumming up the feeling, right? And so this is, a stronger feeling could pull you towards doing something faster. A stronger feeling could make you react faster, like touching something hot, makes you move your hand faster, right? And my symbols for this, because we can have feelings that are related to something we touch, we come in contact with, I need one symbol. And feelings that happen at a distance, something we hear about, something we see in the distance, something we read about, something that's not happening immediately to us. We've got the two symbols. So off into the distance, something we see, I picked the symbol of a spider. Okay, easy to remember. Not everybody loves spiders. And then the picture I picked for actually touching something. I don't know. I always think about touching a hot element or a hot frying pan, because I remember I used to have, growing up, we had the oven, the stovetop, with the coil elements, and I saw one, they would get red when they're hot, and then they would go black when they were cool. So it was black, but I think it's still hot. It was just hot a minute ago, and I put my finger on it, and I got a nice big burn across my index finger. So the more important the feeling, the more you will remember something. The stronger the feeling, the more important it is, and that dictates how quickly you move towards or away from it, and that also dictates what you remember, okay? And in terms of what you remember, there's also a hint of novelty, or novelty, back to the meaning machine, back to the meaning catalog. Things that are novel create more emotions, and we tend to remember that. And you might think, why do I remember the weirdest things? Because it's novel, it's kind of like an outlier in your meaning catalog. So that's why weird things stick in your brain. You're like, why would I need to know that? Because all the similar things kind of get put into one folder, and then you have a folder just for that weird thing in your memory. Okay, so feelings are guesses. It can happen if we touch something or if we just see something, it's a guess based on the meaning catalog. It's a signal from the elephant to the rider, and it's trying to get you, it's trying to help you navigate the world, okay? So this isn't new, and there's an old quote by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Okay, so he's the author of the book The Little Prince. You may or may not have heard of. But he said, a very long time ago, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather wood, divide the work, and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. Okay, so we don't build ships just because we've got the stuff. We build ships because we want to do something. We want to, it solves the problem. We want to go out and go on an adventure. We feel strongly about the adventure. If we feel strongly about wanting to go on that adventure, we'll figure out how to do it, okay? So that's how feelings work. Feelings are, they are signals from the elephant based on the elephant's meaning catalog, this invisible meaning catalog, and they're trying to keep you safe. And the more important, the more powerful, intense we equate to more importance. So this can get us kind of tripped up, similar to empty promises of reward. Marketers, TV, movies, they all try to get you kind of stir up these emotions and try to get you engaged and kind of, there's always got to be some drama, right? Because you think, okay, if there's something important, if there's something that's drumming up some strong emotions, it must be important. And it makes me think back to that JFK quote about going to the moon. He's like, we do not do things because they're easy, but we do them because they're hard. And it's somewhat true, but I think we often confuse things that are hard with important, things that we struggle with, and we have a lot of emotional intensity around, kind of like completing a really hard video game, right? Or the hardest thing at the time, getting people to the moon. It was really hard. We overcame this, and there was a lot of celebration after succeeding on something we thought was impossible. And because the feelings were so intense, we automatically can associate it with important. But once we know this, we should take a step back and look at, things that drum up a lot of emotion in us. Is it actually important? So even though it's stirring up a lot of emotion, is it important? Does it go along with our goal? Back to the very first video about happiness equals feeling like things are all right. Does this thing that's stirring up a lot of emotion actually relate to me achieving, feeling like things are going to be all right? Does it really matter to me? Does the drama on this TV show that's keeping me coming back and watching the next episode, does that add to my life when I reflect, when I move into the reflection happiness point of view? Am I going to look back on my life and be so happy that I watched every season of whatever show it was you watched, or everything there was on Netflix, right? So it all relates to each other, but that's feelings. So we've got two sets of feelings, two categories, let's say. Things that we actually come in contact with, things that are at a distance, and they are based on their guesses from one system to the other, and they are all based on a meaning catalog that we may or may not have gone through to make sure it makes sense. Okay, so that's it. Those are the 5 things. Might just seem like a lot, but I'll do a follow-up video to sum it all up, but we're done the 5 series. So image 1, timeline, we're meaning machines. Image 2, we've got 2 systems, the rider and the elephant, long-term goals, short-term goals. We're biased towards the promise of reward, so we can get tricked easily into things that might not be good for us. And then the last 2 are about feelings. We've got feelings or signals about things we touch and things that are off in the distance. They're signals, they're warnings, they're those gut feelings from the elephant to the rider, because it has to be fast to keep us alive. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to know what you think about these. This is just kind of the latest I've got on this mental model. And a great quote about models I've heard recently is, all models are wrong, some are useful. So I know this model has faults, has problems. I'd love to hear what you think and how we can make it better. It's still going to be wrong, it's still not going to be perfect, but we can just continually make it better together.